History. How much do we know about it? Sure, we know about the big things like the World Wars, Napoleon. In India, we talk about the British, the Mughals, the Guptas, and the Mauryas. But what about the parts of history that didn't make into the history book? And in spite of that, left a significant mark on our society, culture, and become a part of our identity as to who we are today. Hello, my name is Shubho, and join me on a vlog as I go on an adventure to find one such unexplored hidden gem of India and my home state of Bengal. As I make my way towards my destination, walking past beautiful Kali Puja pandals, Kali being the goddess of strength and power in Hindu religion, the festivities for whom is over by the time this video goes live. Let me set the stage. The year is around 1500. Everyone in Europe wants spices. The Arabs are selling these spices at a crazy high markup, so the Europeans decide to come to the source of the spices, India. Now, every major European power has come to India. The British, of course, the French, the Dutch, and the Portuguese, including the star of our show today, the Danish. Now, the Danish came to Bengal around 1698, and they established a colony a few miles north of Serampore, and then they became too involved with the locals and became a nuisance to them. Believe it or not, they even took it a step further and declared war on the then mighty Mughal Empire. This did not go well. They lost and they were sent back to their main colony of Tranquebar. But they tried again in 1755, and this time they succeeded. Now, the Danish were only there in Serampore for about 90 years, 1755 to 1845. But in that time, they were a pretty significant trading power. So they established many forms of architecture, churches and other buildings. And they even tried to rename Serampore to Frederiksnagore in the name of their king, King Frederick V of Denmark. However, increasing competition from the East India Company forced them to sell it to the British in 1845, and they never returned. Today, we are going to visit one such architecture left by the Danish, or not one, two, and a very special mansion. So, join me as I go see the remnants of an almost forgotten past. I took a ferry from Bagbazar Ghat and I'm sailing towards Howrah. As I'm sailing towards Howrah, I can't help but think that this was the same river that brought trade, money, power, and our colonizers, i.e. the British, to my home city of Kolkata. And this is the same river that brought the Danish to Serampore, my destination. We finally arrive at Howrah, and I can't help but marvel at the mighty Howrah Bridge, another British creation, but like most, designed by an Indian, a Bengali, just like me, if I may say so. Now, I took a train, and the train journey lasted around half an hour. The train journey lasted half an hour, and we are here at our destination of Serampore. This place was started by an Englishman, yes, an Englishman, not Danish, Englishman, named James Parr, in 1786. The Calcutta Gazette from the same year reports this place to be a great place for gentlemen and serves wine, food, and even lodging. So, this place was a pretty posh place. However, this place, for some unknown reason, came down, i.e. got shut down, until recently when it was renovated and opened again in 2018. This place still offers food and lodging and is now owned and operated by the Park Hotels. Join me as we take a tour inside. Now, inside the Denmark Tavern, you will see some items for display, and this portion of this wall depicting the story of Serampore and its history. These are huge texts. If you read them, you will definitely familiarize yourself with the history of Serampore and this tavern in particular. Now, coming inside to the dining area, you will see that this place is very minimally decorated and has a very rough and tough and sturdy look to it, which is fine if you're going for that look. It's not very ornate. Good. Now, the food. The food is good.
Now the food was good. It was okay. Not it's like tasty. Not too much spices, which is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe it is a good thing, or maybe all this spice trade and you still can't use spice in your dishes. Get the pun? Get the pun? Yes. This light behind me is making my video filming worse. Anyway, we will get out. We'll see what else we can see. We have planned to see Serampore Rajbari, but I think we are running a bit late. So let's see.
After the tavern, we visited the Serampore Rajbari. Now, Rajbari in Bengali literally translated means the house of the kings. But this place did not belong to any king. It's only called so because of its colossal structure. It's huge. This place actually belonged to traders, the Goswami family of Serampore, who made their fortune by trading with the Danes. Now, if you tell me to describe this place is amazing. It's huge and it reeks of history and the time that has gone by, the glory days of this family. Now, this place also gives me some spooky vibes. It's a vast compound with literally no one in it. The family doesn't live here anymore and is only used for shoots. Now, as we are done with the Serampore Rajbari, let's visit another architecture. It's the St. Olav's Church, which was closed today. I don't know why. Anyway, this place was built by the Danish and it even has the name of the king, Christian the Seventh. Yes, CR7. That stands for Christian the Seventh, not Cristiano Ronaldo, as much as I'd like it to be. Anyway, after visiting the church, we make our way back home. Now, I am not someone who is very philosophical, but visiting this tavern, this Rajbari, and this church reminded me of something. It reminded me of how much of history we actually know, read, or care about. For the most part, history books write down the major events like wars, like treaties, and major rebellions and uprisings. But no one remembers the small colony that was quietly established and then quietly sold off, because there's nothing important to remember about it, or so history thinks. But think about all the people that have lived here, worked here, and died here. Think about the hundreds of people visiting this tavern every day for a drink or some food or to stay for the night before moving on to their next destination. Think about the Goswami trading family, a trading family that had so much money that it could actually afford to build this house in 5 years' time in those days. Or this church, which was once christened with the name of King Christian the Seventh. Now it's a subsidiary of the Church of Calcutta. And I am sure prayers still happen, but I don't think it's the same as it was during the times of Christian the Seventh and the Danish rule of Serampore. Makes me wonder how much of history will remember us, the people around me, the people who are working normal jobs and doing normal things, helping this country, this world progress to a better place. Most of us will all be forgotten, and that's due to the law of nature. That's how things are. Sometimes I feel that this river that the Europeans came through to trade with us would come to life and tell its stories. For it has been here longer than any other insignificant colonial power or outside attackers that have come to this place. I wish that this river would sometimes speak up and tell me about all the insignificant parts of history, the lives of people who lived, fished, traded, battled, like my grandmother or my grandfather. And I would just sit there and listen to the insignificant of history that didn't make it to the history book. Thank you for watching. My name is Shubho, and I'll see you in the next vlog.